We spent $400 out of our own pockets on the new Sony XM5 headphones, and we have some questions.
Are they really worth the price?
Did Sony finally fix the #1 biggest issue with the XM4s?
And how do they stack up against the best premium headphones that Bose and Apple have to offer?
But before we get to those comparisons, let's meet the Sony XM5s. Let's take them out of the box. Here is the headphone case, and the first thing you'll notice if you had a pair of XM4s is that the case is a lot bigger.
I saw some complaints recently on Amazon that the zipper broke on somebody's case, and that was one of the first things that I noticed was that the zipper itself isn't necessarily the best quality.
Got a nice little magnetic flap there for your cables.
Yeah, there you go.
Or your stash. Here they are, the XM5s. One thing I like about the XM5s as opposed to the XM4s is the more subtle branding of the Sony logo. Of the headphones that use the sliding mechanism, I think Sony does it best. I'm not a fan of how the Bose antennas kind of poke out to the bottom.
I like the Bose, but I own the Bose. They're my headphones, so I'm trying not to be biased here.
On each ear cup, you have 4 noise canceling microphones. The XM4s only had 2 on each ear cup. Bose 700s and the AirPods Max already had the 8 noise canceling microphones. So Sony catching up there, and I think that might lead to some improved noise cancellation on these headphones.
I think that's where there was room for improvement, for sure.
I felt like your skin oil leaves bigger marks on these than I'm used to seeing on headphones. Maybe that's just my fault. Maybe I should shower more. In terms of weight, these headphones are about 5 grams lighter than the XM4s and the Bose. You're not going to notice that. What you will notice is the more than 100 gram weight difference between these and the AirPods Max.
It's ridiculous.
In terms of durability, they do seem pretty durable to me, but I will note that these are not water resistant at all, so maybe not the best headphones for the gym.
Or when David takes a shower. I like the fact that there's a noise canceling button.
Let's put them on, see how they sound.
I don't even want to have to say this, David, but I'm a little disappointed.
I was a little disappointed too. I was expecting better.
I think the XM4 sound better.
I think they do too. The big issue that I had with these and that I kind of heard consistently throughout the tracks was that there was a lack of clarity on the larger sound stages, and it sounded similar to the way that Apple optimizes their music.
That's exactly what I thought. What I was going to say is that the bass is very strong. I could hear it in Billie Jean, where you've got different bass frequencies happening. It was like certain parts of the bass were standing out more than other parts.
Yep.
And then I felt like the Kronos Quartet, it just didn't sound as spacious as some of the other ones. Did I think that these were going to be better than this?
Yes.
Yes.
100%. Yeah, also, I mean, these are comfortable, but I'm feeling a little bit of a pinch, and it's not a consistent pinch around the ear.
And they actually got kind of warm for me, too.
Okay, that was disappointing.
That is very disappointing. Sony, what are you doing? $398, David? I don't think so.
Yeah, there are some cool built-in features to this. Speak to chat, you just start talking and the audio stops playing. The example in the Sony head that they use is this woman is going to like a bakery and she's placing an order. Just take your headphones off. You don't need to...
It's kind of rude, isn't it?
I was going to say, it's a little rude. Just, oh yeah, I'm just wearing my headphones and, well, let's test out the noise cancellation.
Got a lawnmower going right now. You can still hear the lawnmower, but it's quieter.
In terms of microphone and call quality...
This is a test of the Sony XM5 microphone.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, especially after I put them on the right way.
Yeah.
First time I had them on backwards.
Didn't work out.
Didn't sound as good.
Sony has been making over-ear headphones since 1964. Apple started in 2020. Are the AirPods Max worth the $549 price tag compared to the Sony XM5s?
Let's find out.
A lot of people are complaining about the Sony XM5s, their portability, their case is bigger. AirPods Max case, you've heard this before, it is pathetic.
Yeah, it's a joke of a case.
In terms of weight and comfortability, why are the AirPods Max so heavy? They are built with very durable materials.
Except for the headband.
I haven't really seen any widespread complaints about the mesh headband wearing down or getting damaged. Obviously, in terms of style, these are a very Apple-looking product, and I do like that you can replace the ear cups with, maybe you want to get different colors. However, a pair of ear cups does cost $69 on apple.com, and the audio cable is not included with these headphones. That's another, $29? It's expensive. Really, to go all out with these headphones, you're adding another $110 to your list price. It's a complaint about the XM5s, they can't fold, but the Bose 700s don't fold, AirPods Max don't fold. We're gonna give these a listen, test them out head to head to the XM5s, see which sounds better. The most ridiculous part about these headphones is really that there's no way
to listen to CD quality music on them, even with the cable that you could buy for $39.
Go get a Walkman. They focus, Apple does, optimizing their sound for vocal clarity at the expense of everything else, so the bass was consistently weak.
Tinny was the word that came to mind.
Noise cancellation, not even close to the XM5s. A mic quality, AirPods Max.
This is a test of the AirPods Max microphone during phone calls.
I would say pretty definitively inferior to the Sony XM5s. So when we're ranking these headphones head-to-head, we identified 6 categories. We're just gonna pick a winner and a loser. So style, I do think that the Sony XM5s are a bit more stylish.
You're an Apple fanboy and you're not gonna buy any Sony products, then yeah, this is gonna win.
But we're gonna give the slight edge here to the Sony XM5s. In terms of comfort, Sony XM5s, they weigh a lot less. There's less pinch around the ears.
They're shaped for human ears.
Yeah.
These things are shaped for rectangle ears.
Yeah, and they're so heavy. Case and portability.
Yeah, it's not even close, right? Let's not even talk about it.
Not even close.
XM5.
Sound quality. I think the XM5s definitely have a bit of an edge here.
They sound better.
Noise cancellation, Sony XM5s. And call quality, also the Sony
XM5s. But the AirPods Max do win in the expensiveness category, so that's about it.
Clean sweep for the XM5s, taking down the AirPods Max, and now I finally get to say that these do not belong in the premium over-ear headphone category. Anytime we review these headphones, they never make the top 3. They're always in the middle of the pack. It's time to stop treating these like Sony and Bose.
If it can't play CD quality music, it doesn't belong in the premium category.
When we're talking about the 2 best-selling premium over-ear headphone brands on Amazon, it's 2 brands. It's Sony and it's Bose. So we're gonna test out the Bose QuietComfort 45s head-to-head. And I think the first thing you'll notice when you take these 2 out of the box, case size.
Right, so for portability, and then the ability to fold up. Should we just demonstrate that with the
I will
Bose?
try to demonstrate. I mean, I can fold them up.
That was tough. These will not do that.
Yep. A lot of YouTube reviewers, they're always emphasizing traveling with headphones. If you travel a lot with your headphones, Bose clearly more portable.
Oh, transferring update. This did not appear yesterday.
I think what they did is they kind of toned down the trebliness just a tiny bit.
Maybe, yeah.
And then bumped up the bass.
They did.
And it just made for a more complete sound, and I think the clarity was still there despite
the changes.
Was.
It was. Sometimes there's a shaker on the side.
Yeah.
Or some little piece that I never heard before, and I actually heard a couple of things of this.
Yeah, for me, what was really clear was the Michael Jackson snaps.
Was it great? Was it great?
It was interesting. Let's do the call quality test because it might come down to that.
This is a test of the Bose QuietComfort 45 headphone microphone. Wonder how it sounds.
We've done our tests head to head. Sony XM5, Bose QC45. In terms of style, I think Sony has to take it. Yeah, I feel like these look kind of cheap, even though I know they're not, and they don't sound cheap. They look cheap. Next, comfort. I think this is kind of a wash.
It is. Yep.
These are lighter. Bose QC45s are lighter. These are softer, so maybe over, you're sitting on an airplane for 8 hours. You might get a little hotter with the XM5s.
Yeah, it's tough.
Case and portability. I think this has to go to the Bose.
It does.
The case is smaller. It's about as sturdy. It has a pouch just like the Sony XM5s.
I think it's at least as sturdy.
Sound quality. So before the firmware update, I think it was a slight edge for Sony.
It was.
After the firmware update, I think Bose has to take it.
Oh, of course it does.
In terms of noise cancellation, firmware update did make the noise cancellation on these headphones a bit better. Got rid of a little bit of white noise we were hearing, but I still think the Sonys have to take it. Call quality, slight edge to Sony. 3-2.
3-2 with a wash.
With a wash on comfort. The Sony XM5s aren't here to replace the XM4s. Instead, Sony is just adding another premium headphone to its lineup.
But it's worth noting that the XM4s go on sale a lot. I've seen them for as low as $280. Are they really worth the extra $120 if they're on sale or extra $50 if they aren't?
Let's find out. Before I even take the XM4s out of the case, I just want to talk about the cases. XM4 case, a bit smaller, a bit more portable, and I think it's also just a little bit sturdier too. Let's open these up, and they fold right up, nice and nice. These look like they've never been used before. Stylish, comfy, light.
You thought that the Sony logo was too much on these?
Yeah, I just think it's more subtle. I mean, you compare the size of the Sony logo on the XM5s. The XM5s are about 5 grams lighter than the XM4s, so you're not going to notice that. In terms of durability, I mean, I think it seems pretty durable to me. Did Sony fix the #1 issue with the XM4s and the XM5s? They did. I use these headphones for work, and one of the things that I do is watch through videos before they get uploaded to YouTube. And one of the things I listen for is background music. Sometimes I listen for the background music and it's not there, and what I hear is this hiss. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
So Sony has gotten better over time to the point now where it's gone.
Although these are technically about 5 grams heavier than the XM5s, they still feel a bit lighter on my head, and that might have to do with the materials used in the ear cups. But in terms of just audio quality overall, where the XM5s had some bass inconsistency, I feel like these just had a bit overpowering bass a lot of the time.
These are getting a 4 for me. I think these are a good pair of headphones.
Yeah, I think these might have actually done better than the XM5s in terms of the clarity of the full sound stage.
They sounded better than the XM5s.
I think they sounded just a little bit better than the XM5s.
Is sound quality the only thing that matters with headphones?
Technically not, but
no.
I feel like it's, we have 6 factors, and if I had to pick one that was most important, I would probably pick the sound quality.
This is a microphone test of the Sony XM4 headphones during a phone call.
Let's go to our 6 categories, and I think call quality, we'll start at the bottom, work our way up. Sony XM5s, and I don't think it was that close.
No, Sony XM5s are the winner in call quality.
Noise canceling, also Sony XM5's white noise issue fixed. In terms of sound quality, I think the XM4's by a couple of hairs. Case and portability. I mean, it really is no contest, right? Do I need to say more? Which do you think were more comfortable? I think I'd have to give it to the XM4s.
Yeah, XM4s, yeah.
But
barely.
Not by much. Well, it comes down to style. Is it going to be an XM4 victory or a split decision? In terms of style, I would give it to the XM5s. They're more modern, they're more sleek. I like the Sony branding better.
I don't know if I can be unbiased in terms of style because of my affinity for the Bose 700s. I would go for the XM5s, I think, if the price was even.
Well, the price isn't even. XM4s are $50 cheaper on Sony's website or on Amazon, oftentimes more than $100 cheaper.
And if it's that, there's no question. XM4s.
You know what's on sale today? Subscribing to this channel. You can do that for $0.
For an unlimited time only, hit that subscribe button. It's free.
Bose Noise Cancelling 700. This has been our favorite pair of headphones since we started making headphone review videos. And the big difference here between the Bose 700s and the Sony XM4s, which is always number 2, was that noise cancellation issue. Now we've got the Sony XM5s, and you can kind of see where Sony got their inspiration from these headphones.
And this is why I'm saying that this is a better comparison.
It sure is.
Than the XM4s to the 700s.
Yep.
Clearly, Sony took a page out of Bose's book with this one.
I think Sony did it better, especially with the sliders. I mean, come on. The case of these 2 headphones, wow, look how similar those are too. Now, I think the Bose case is just slightly smaller.
In terms of durability, though, gotta give it to the Bose.
I like the way that the Sony case feels, just the texture on the outside. This is more slippery and just...
I don't need texture.
Bose is definitely smaller and thinner too. Let's do the audio test. In terms of audio quality, the word I would use to describe the Bose 700 is balanced.
It wasn't even close for me, really. I mean, Bose landed in the 4.75 range for me.
Unfortunately, call quality in the Bose 700 is poor.
This is a test of the Bose Noise Cancelling 700 microphone during a phone call.
Especially compared to the XM5's poor.
Right, so let's go down our list here.
All right, let's go down the list. Call quality. Sony XM5's, not even close.
Take the cake.
Noise canceling, I give the slight edge to the XM5s now that that white noise issue has been fixed.
And so do I.
Oh boy. Sound quality, Bose 700, I don't think it's that close. Case and portability, Bose 700. Comfort.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's clearly the Bose.
Okay, so the Sony XM5s are about 5 grams lighter, but again, the issues I have with the Sony, even though they are lighter, I feel like they're just
there's a little,
there's like a breathability issue.
That's what it is for me.
Yeah. Style. I mean, I think the Sonys are a lot. I don't like that design. I think these are sleeker, more modern, more stylish. I'd go with these.
And I would go with the Bose.
All right.
Because I think that they're metal.
All right.
I think those look like a ripoff of these.
It looks like an improved version of those. We'll call that one a wash.
Call it a wash.
We'll call it a wash.
Yep.
Give the Bose 700 a 3-2 victory. I just wish these were more balanced, the Sony XM5s. So maybe there's some stuff you can do with the EQ in the Sony app that might make them sound a little bit better.
But that's that is subjective. That is not how we test.
Right. We take them out of the box, make sure they're up to date with the firmware.
And we test them out.
And
to be fair, we did turn on DSEE Extreme on the Sonys to make it sound as good as possible.
On Android, yep. King is still the Bose 700 in my opinion.
Sorry, Sony. My takeaway is that the Bose QuietComfort 45s are now the competitor to the XM4s. It's a tough call. Which is better?
I think the sound is better on the QuietComforts, and the Sony's win noise cancellation. But if if the XM5s are the top competitor to the Bose 700s, the Bose 700s are still
It's
the
not
best.
close.
Yeah.
I don't care what people say. They're wrong.
Yeah, maybe the Bose 800s will come in and disappoint us again. But
Yeah.
for now, if you're looking for the best premium over-ear headphones, it is the Bose 700. I mean,
And they're cheaper.
If you buy the Sony XM5s, I don't think you'd be disappointed. They're a good pair of headphones.
You might be if you own the XM4s.
You will. If you want to help us make more videos like this, comparing all these very expensive headphones, consider joining this channel.
It's a big help.
It's a big help. I mean, we've been in here for 4 hours recording.
We
And,
have.
It's been a day.
It's been a big day. That would be a big help. We appreciate everybody who joins the channel.
Yep.
Helps us offset the cost. We didn't get any of these sent to us for free. We talked about $2,000 of headphones today.
Yeah.
I did the math.
Thanks for watching. Next, we're going to test the microphone quality.
And to do that, we asked for the help of our biggest fan. It's a Dyson.